morning, Philippines! Maayong buntag, Mindanao, ug mabulahanong adlaw, Rehiyon 10. I am Teacher Elia Acobo of Looc National High School, Salay District Division of Misamis Oriental. Are you excited of learning another exciting lesson today? I wish you are as excited as me. Let's have fun learning English together.
Grade 10 students, before we start, I want you to prepare your pens and papers for our activity writing and note-taking today. Here are our objectives for today's lesson. Do you still remember our previous lesson? Can you give me keywords that may point to the topic we have discussed last week? Let your mind work, my dear grade 10 students. Think of the answers. Anyone who wants to answer my question? Yes, we have images, videos, weaknesses, strengths, even the name Jennifer Cox. Wow, your memory sure does work well. In our previous lesson, you learned about how to win over personal challenges from the insights, generalizations, and conclusions you made from viewing videos. As you know, personal challenges require a lot of effort to overcome. As the new lesson unfolds, you will discover how to resolve personal conflicts, this time by evaluating literary contents through listening. Yes, grade 10 students, you heard it right, because today you are going to listen to a literary piece written by one of the most famous philosophers in the world.
Why don't we apply on how to evaluate pictures from our topic last week? I want you to analyze the picture on the screen and answer the questions that follow. Prepare your paper and pencil, and do not forget to write our subject, English 10, your name, grade and section, name of your teacher, and the date you answered your module.
Now let us go back to the picture presented by Teacher Elia earlier. Analyze the picture and answer the questions that follow. Write your answers on a one whole sheet of paper. Question number 1. What message does the picture convey? Question number 2. Describe the situation in the picture. I am going to give you 1 minute to complete the activity. For the information of everyone, checking of activity answers will be done at the last part of our lesson.
The challenge is about to start, students. I am going to play a video about the wonderful life teachings taught by the great Chinese philosopher known as Confucius. However, before I play the video, let us first get to know Confucius as a person and give meaning to the difficult words found in the selection.
Most people recognize his name and know that he is famous for having said something. But considering the long-lasting impact his teachings have had on the world, very few people know who Confucius really was, what he really said, and why. Amid the chaos of 6th century BCE China, where warring states fought endlessly among themselves for supremacy, and rulers were frequently assassinated, sometimes by their own relatives, Confucius exemplified benevolence and integrity, and through his teaching became one of China's greatest philosophers. Born to a nobleman but raised in poverty from a very young age following the untimely death of his father, Confucius developed what would become a lifelong sympathy for the suffering of the common people. Barely supporting his mother and disabled brother as a herder, an account keeper at a granary, and with other odd jobs, it was only with the help of a wealthy friend that Confucius was able to study at the Royal Archives, where his worldview would be formed. Though the ancient texts there were regarded by some as irrelevant relics of the past, Confucius was inspired by them. Through study and reflection, Confucius came to believe that human character is formed in the family and by education in ritual, literature, and history. A person cultivated in this way works to help others, guiding them by moral inspiration rather than brute force. To put his philosophy into practice, Confucius became an advisor to the ruler of his home state of Lu. But after another state sent Lu's ruler a troupe of dancing girls as a present, and the ruler ignored his duties while enjoying the girls in private, Confucius resigned in disgust. He then spent the next few years traveling from state to state, trying to find a worthy ruler to serve, while holding fast to his principles. It wasn't easy. In accordance with his philosophy, and contrary to the practice of the time, Confucius dissuaded rulers from relying on harsh punishments and military power to govern their lands, because he believed that a good ruler inspires others to spontaneously follow him by virtue of his ethical charisma. Confucius also believed that because the love and respect we learn in the family are fundamental to all other virtues, personal duties to family sometimes supersede obligations to the state. So when one duke bragged that his subjects were so upright that a son testified against his own father when his father stole a sheep, Confucius informed the duke that genuinely upright fathers and sons protected one another. During his travels, Confucius almost starved. He was briefly imprisoned, and his life was threatened at several points. But he was not bitter. Confucius had faith that heaven had a plan for the world, and he taught that a virtuous person could always find joy in learning and music. Failing to find the ruler he sought, Confucius returned to Lu and became a teacher and philosopher so influential that he helped shape Chinese culture, and we recognize his name worldwide, even today. For the disciples of Confucius, he was the living embodiment of a sage who leads others through his virtue, and they recorded his sayings, which eventually were edited into a book we know in English as the Analects. Today, millions of people worldwide adhere to the principles of Confucianism, and though the precise meaning of his words has been debated for millennia, when asked to summarize his teachings in a single phrase, Confucius himself said, "Do not inflict upon others that which you yourself would not want." 2,500 years later, it's still sage advice.
Hi, my name's Daniela. Do you know Daniela Mondragon? Oh, I know her, but she's not me. I'm another Daniela. You see, I really want to go to China to be able to visit the place of the great Confucius. But I was told that before I can go to China, I have to answer questions and give meanings to difficult words found in the videos before I'll have my travel ticket. So, I have a mission to complete. Can you help me? I really want to go. Question number 1. What is conflict? A fight, battle, or struggle. B. Antagonism or opposition. C. Collision of ideas. D. All of the above. This is very easy. I know this. It's letter D, all of the above. Now, I am already here in a waiting shed. If I can answer question number 2, then I will be given a free ride to the bus station. Question number 2. What is resolve? A. To settle or find solution. B. To leave the situation as it is. C. To solve a mathematical problem. D. All of the above. I'm getting confused. Can you help me? I don't think I can answer this correctly. Are you sure? Okay, we will go for letter A. Thank you very much for your help. Now I'm going to the bus station for free. I'm here at the bus station. Don't you think I belong here? Well, the buses are so red like me. If I can answer question number 3, then I will be going to the airport with another free ride. Question number 3. This word is concerning to one's private life. What word is this? A. External. B. Personal. C. Expression of self. D. None of the above. This is getting harder. Are you still there, grade 10 students? Please give me an answer. Really? Do you think that is the right letter? Okay, letter C. Oh, wait, let me change it to B. Yes! I'm so thankful I changed my mind. It feels great to ride on this air-conditioned bus and going to the airport. Manila, wait for me! Question number 4. Confucius lived a life of benevolence. He always showed generosity to people around him. What is benevolence? A. Disrespect. B. Without mercy. C. Kindness. D. Faithful. OMG! I know this. It's letter C. Am I correct? See? I am such an intelligent person. That was so easy. I am now on board the plane. But they said it won't take off without me answering this question number 5. So, let us get it done now. Question number 5. What is Analects? A. A collection of fables. B. A collection of children's stories. C. A book for the old. D. A collection of short philosophical stories. I am so sure I can go to China now because I definitely know the answer of this. It is letter D. Oh my gosh! China, here I come! After all the hardships we've been through, I have finally toured around China. Grade 10 students, I owe you big time. Xi is thank you in Chinese. Now, I think we are ready to listen to Confucius' words of wisdom. Lines from the Analects of Confucius. The master said, "The good man does not grieve what other people do not recognize his merits. His only anxiety is lest he should fail to recognize theirs." The master said, "To learn and at due times to repeat what one has learned, is that not after all a pleasure? That friends should come to one from afar, is this not after all delightful? To remain unsoured even though one's merits are unrecognized by others, is that not after all what is expected of a gentleman?" The master said, "At 15 I set my heart upon learning. At 30 I had planted my feet firm upon the ground. At 40 I no longer suffered from perplexities. At 50 I knew what were the biddings of heaven. At 60, I heard them with docile ear. At 70, I could follow the dictates of my own heart, for what I desire no longer overstepped the boundaries of right. The Master said, to learn and at due times to repeat what one has learned. Is that not, after all, a pleasure? Those friends should come to one from afar. Is this not, after all, delightful? To remain unsoured, even though one's merits are unrecognized by others. Is that not, after all, what is expected of a gentleman? The Master said, a young man's duty is to behave well to his parents at home and to his elders abroad, to be cautious in giving promises and punctual in giving them, to have kindly feelings towards everyone, but seek the intimacy of good. If, when all that is done, he has any energy to spare, and then let him study the polite arts. The Master said, the good man does not grieve that other people do not recognize his merits. His only anxiety is lest he should fail to recognize theirs. The Master said, he who rules by moral force is like the pole star, which remains in its place where all the lesser stars do homage to it. Meng Wu Pu asked about the treatment of parents. The Master said, behave in such a way that your father and mother have no anxiety about you except concerning your health. The Master said a gentleman can see a question from all sides without bias. The small man is biased and can see a question only from one side. The Master said, you, shall I teach you what knowledge is? When you know a thing, to recognize that you know it, and when you do not know a thing, to recognize that you do not know it. That is knowledge. The Master said, high office filled by men of narrow views, ritual performed without reverence, the forms of mourning observed without grief, these are things I cannot bear to see. The Master said, in the presence of a good man, think all the time how you may learn to equal him. In the presence of a bad man, turn your gaze within. The Master said, in old days, a man kept hold on his words, fearing the disgrace that would ensure should he himself fail to keep pace with them. The Master said, a gentleman covets the reputation of being slow in word, but prompt in deed. The Master said, in old days men studied for the sake of self-improvement. Nowadays men study to impress other people. The Master said, a gentleman is ashamed to let his words outrun his deeds. The Master said, he who will not worry about what is far off will soon find something worse than worry close at hand. The Master said, to demand much from oneself and little from others is the way for a ruler to banish discontent.
Listening assessment.
Get ready to the countdown. Get ready to the countdown. Get ready to the countdown. countdown. Get ready to the 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 countdown.
Conflicts are part of growing. They are the barometers of self-discipline and strong character. You are strong not because you go for physical and verbal assault, but on how you choose to resolve conflicts in a calm manner. To know more, watch this.
How would you face your personal conflicts? Maybe you have attempted a great deal of approaches to prevail upon them. You need necessary adjustments to shield yourself from hurt and disappointments. The selection from the Analects provide you some life lessons that you might have forgotten and the values that you should possess to be your armor in resolving your personal conflicts. Resolving your personal conflict is very important as you continue your life's journey. It will give you peace of mind and a better outlook in life knowing that you can resolve conflicts. In literature, you will encounter different types of conflicts. These conflicts in literature help you define and understand the problem that you are facing. Literature can present conflicts in a way where readers can picture out the conflict, relate to the characters, and will admire how conflicts are being resolved. Literature provides an avenue to acquire a broader perspective, an ability to resolve one's personal conflicts. Just like in real life, characters in the stories have struggles or conflicts that need to be resolved. Solutions are revealed as the story unfolds. This gives you the suggestions or ideas on how to resolve your personal conflicts. It will also enlighten you that conflicts are part of your life, but they can be resolved in a non-violent way. Through literature, you can develop positive resolution to conflicts that you will encounter. Here are the 6 types of literary conflict. Just like it takes 2 to tango, it also takes 2 or more to create a conflict. What you choose to pit your characters against will have a significant effect on what kind of story you tell. Many stories contain multiple types of conflict, but there is usually one that is the main focus. Number 1. Character versus self. This is an internal conflict, meaning that the opposition the character faces is coming from within. This may entail a struggle to discern what the moral or right choice is, or it may also encompass mental health struggles. All other types of conflict are external, meaning that a character comes up against an outside force that creates the conflict. The second type of conflict is character versus character. This is a common type of conflict in which one character's needs or wants are at odds with another's. A character conflict can be depicted as a straightforward fist fight or as intricate and nuanced as the ongoing struggle for power in the HBO series Game of Thrones. The third type of conflict is character versus nature. In a nature conflict, a character is set in opposition to nature. This can mean the weather, the wilderness, or a natural disaster. Example of this is an American movie entitled Dante's Peak, wherein the main character or the characters of the story are in struggle with the erupting volcano. This is the essence of the man versus nature conflict. Man struggles with human emotions, while nature charges forth undeterred. The fourth type is character versus supernatural. Pitting characters against phenomena like ghosts, gods, or monsters raises the stakes of a conflict by creating an unequal playing field. Supernatural conflict also covers characters like Harry Potter or Odysseus. Or in Philippine movies, we have examples like Pagpag or Encanto. The fifth conflict is character versus technology. In this case, a character is in conflict with some kind of technology. Think of the tales like hacking, robots, and other technological advances movies that may fall under this category. And the last is character versus society. A character versus society conflict is an external conflict that occurs in literature when the protagonist is placed in opposition with society, the government, or a cultural tradition or societal norm of some kind. Characters may be motivated to take action against their society by a need to survive, a moral sense of right and wrong, or a desire for happiness, freedom, justice, or love.
Every day is a constant struggle of solving problems. Let us all focus on our strengths and ask our family or friends help when we feel weak. Most of all, believe if others can, you can.
These are the answers to our previous activities. Please get your answer sheet and check your answers honestly. For activity number 1, you do not have to have the exact words flashed on the screen. If you have the same idea, then that is already considered correct. Important message to all the grade 10 students. Please answer the other activities in your English 10 Module 13 and pass it to your teacher on the scheduled module retrieval. Write your answers on a one whole sheet of paper with your name, grade and section, name of your teacher, and do not forget our English 10 subject. Kindly pass also the paper that you have used for our activities today. Thank you very much. Were we able to reach your objectives for today? Let us have them one by one. Did we describe the message of an image based on its content? Did we listen to a selection and answer questions related to it? Did we analyze contents of a given text? I believe we met our objectives for today. A round of applause for everyone. Thank you very much for your active participation.
Deal with your problems positively with God as your greatest strength. And I tell you, you will never go wrong. This is Teacher Aliyah Acobo of Looc National High School, Salay District, Division of Misamis Oriental, reminding you that conflict is inevitable, but combat is optional.
We are proud to present to you Looc National High School's Reading Village, a project made possible by the collaborative efforts of the LGU officials, barangay officials, administrator, parents, teachers, and students. This reading sanctuary caters to every reader's needs. Its main objective is to make every student a comprehensive reader. Whether the student is independent, instructional, struggling, or beginning readers, hand in hand, together we can.